Good day, Lords and Ladies. Welcome back to Scarlet Hollow, episode 4, a Cornish Let's Play series, as we dive back into the story of Jason and his continued adventures in Scarlet Hollow on his 4th day in the town. A lot has happened. Jason has gone and seen the doctor. His health isn't great. He has heart murmurs and just all other kinds of nasty stuff, so he's not looking too good, folks. We also found Reese hiding or sleeping in the mortuary, and a whole host of other things are going on, so we shall see you all in a second, folks. And here we go. Stop asking questions. The compulsion is strong now. It's time to see what's on the other side of that wall. Let us see. Here we go. Let's do this, you say. Have at it, says Reese. You approach the far end of the morgue, axe practically singing through the air as you strike the wall. It's like cutting through butter, you tell yourself. You are right, you could have torn through it with your bare hands. You stagger back from the massive hole in the wall and admire your effort. Holy shit, says Reese. The splintering edges frame a dark passageway seemingly cut deep into the side of the cliff, cold seeping from the forgotten passageway into the already frigid morgue. Reese coughs as he takes a better look at what lies beyond the wound in the wall. There's a whole hallway back there, he says. Thick stale air leaks from the hole, filling the morgue with an earthy mildew smell, like the room is slowly filling with dirt. And with the stink of the grave-like room beyond comes an even stronger compulsion. You step forward, and you clamber into the hole. This is weird. So this is wild, says Reese. I had no idea any of this was here. An entire hospital wing, rotting away for decades behind some flimsy drywall. His voice sounds distant. Your sole focus is finding it. Your feet move without prompting, and you stumble down the hallway towards the far wall, barely registering the antique clutter as you stagger past it. What? Are you okay? Says Reese from behind you. You don't respond, and you don't bother to retrieve the axe. The wall is rotten, water damage having eaten away at the wood over the course of unknowable years, the planks nearly reduced to sawdust. You tear them apart, you tear into it. Enoch, I thought you weren't going to come. I was worried you'd leave me here forever, says the injured man. They said there's nothing they can do. I'll never use my legs again. Enoch, what am I going to do? Says the man. Calm down, Teddy. These doctors don't know what they're talking about, says Enoch. I've been doing my own research and I found an alternative. You won't have to worry about anything from here on out, I promise. I went to talk to the witch. A witch? But that's nonsense, says Teddy. It's all right, it's all sorted. We'll take you home today, and everything will be resolved by this time next week. Didn't he have a brother that, if I remember the lore that we read into at the museum on the 3rd day, in the library I should say, wasn't Enoch's like younger brother or like older brother killed in the collapse, if I recall? Wasn't his name Edward? I know that Teddy sometimes, Teddy is quite a common abbreviation for Edward. So is this his brother? Everything goes black. Your vision swims back into focus. It takes a solid second or two to reorientate yourselves. You're in an unfamiliar bed. Reese leans against the far wall, eyeing you with concern and curiosity. Hey, I was worried you'd slip into a coma or something, he said. You were tore down the wall like a wild animal, found some weird carvings and collapsed. I think you might have had some kind of seizure, he explains. Are you okay? Let's go with... Wait, nothing spooky happened? Mountain didn't collapse on us, no ghosts? No, nothing, says Reese. You just fell down, twitched a little, and then you seemed stable. I carried you back here. That was a few hours ago. You carried me, you say, through a hole in the wall and up and down a bunch of stairs? What? It wasn't super far or anything. I just picked you up and carried you. I might be sick a lot, but that doesn't mean I'm made of paper. I can still do things normal people can do. Let's go with that. Normal people can't pick me up like I'm a child, says you say. With surprise. You must be really strong. Really? Says Reese. Thanks, I guess. I don't have much of a frame for reference for what normal people can do. Let's go with that one. I had a vision, you say. Like hallucination? I have those sometimes too. Used to have them a lot as a teen, says Reese. Always just weird little things, like my hands would look wrong, or my neck would seem too long, or the room would feel small. Let's see, what would you pick? I think the carvings are trying to warn me about something my family has dark secrets. I think these are visions of things that actually happened. Whatever these visions are, they're making me very suspicious of my family. Let's go with that one. I think these are visions of things that actually happened, you say. Whoa, I wonder if you'd see anything else if you went back in there, says Reese. Or if there was more around town, maybe if you collected them all, you'll finally unravel whatever the big mystery is. Seems fun. Let's go with that one. Does Dr. Kelly know I'm here? No, I snuck you back into the house while she was busy in the medical storage room. Figured you wouldn't want to come to in the morgue. Okay. That's probably the one that Jason is going to go for. I should probably get going, you say. Stella's still missing and the stone here finally stopped yelling at me. That might be a little tricky, says Reese. The doc is on the warpath up there. I refuse to take my medicine and she's not happy about it. But after I looked this up, he looks at the plant in his hand. There was no way I was going to take anything she gave me. She's been poisoning me for years. I went ahead and blocked my door so she couldn't get down here. Now we just have to wait her out. You blocked your door? Says Jason, you say quietly. Of course I did. Put a chair in front of it. It's never failed me before. We don't need her coming down here to finish me off or whatever it is she might do now that I know what her treatment plan has been all these years. Let's go with. But now we're just locked downstairs, you point out. Maybe I was a little panicked when I found out what she'd been giving me. And she was upstairs talking through the door saying I should take my pills, and I just took what few precautions I could. It's not ideal, but at least it buys us time to figure out what to do. We should treat her as a serious threat. This might sound strange, but I think she's gone to some desperate lengths in the past. There are these weird memories I have. I've always assumed they were just dreams or hallucinations, but now I'm not so sure. I think she used tranquilizers on me. Other times that I've gotten too unruly for her. I don't know how much of those memories I can trust, but I'm starting to think I should believe my instincts when it comes to the lengths she's willing to go to keep me under her control. We'll wait until she's asleep, then we can at least get out the basement and we can figure out what to do from there. Let's go with that one. But why would your mum poison you? You inquire. Incredulity. I don't know, says Reese. But the internet says this is a castor bean. It used to make ricin, a super deadly poison that causes some of my exact symptoms. and it's death, usually. The thing I can't figure out is whatever she's been trying to kill me slowly or just likes keeping me sick enough to be dependent on her. Either way, I don't think I've had an illness. I think the illness was me growing up and becoming less easy to control. So she sure found a cure for that, he mutters. Ricin is really bad, you say. How are you not dead? I don't know, says Reese. Maybe it's low enough dose, or maybe I've developed a tolerance. You don't develop tolerances to ricin. But I think the fact, well, technically you can develop tolerances to any poison, but ricin's so toxic it would probably kill you before you could. But I think the fact that I'm feeling more alive by the minute is enough proof that she was keeping me sick. I don't even need solid evidence. Go explore. With your evidence, you should be able to go to the cops. Maybe not the local cops, but a cops. I don't have the cast bean from the. I do have the cast bean from the pharmacy, but I still have to prove where I got it from, and then she'd use it, and that she used it to poison me. It's possible the cops might just think I'd snap, and it could turn out even worse for me. I don't think the doc will hesitate to have me committed if she meant she could keep her hold on me. Right. Probably Jason would go, we need to get you out of here. Who knows what she would do when she finds out what you know. Let's go with that one. We need to get you out of here, you say. Who knows what she'll do when she finds out what you know. Where would we go? The only person I know who has a car is Kanika, and she's not answering her phone. I don't know anyone else. I don't know any other family to go to. I'd never even finished high school. When I get out of this house, I don't know how I can make so I don't wind up right back down here. Let's go with that one. Jason would probably offer that. You can stay with me if you want, at least until you can get on your feet. It's just a rundown studio apartment, but there's a roof over your head and a warm place to sleep when the heat works. And nobody trying to poison me sounds like a pretty big upgrade, says Reese. He smiles, his eyes distant. He imagines the possibility of such a life, undoubtedly for the first time. Thanks, Jason. You have no idea how much this offer means to me. But I guess we still got to pass some time before we can get out of here. A distraction seems like a good idea. As you can probably tell, I'm getting a little jittery. Maybe it's the lack of poison in my system, but the first time in years, or the fact that my whole perception of reality has been turned on its head. Probably a combo. It doesn't feel awful, to be honest. Let's go with that one. What if your mum doesn't fall asleep? You shouldn't call her my mum. As far as I'm concerned, she fortified that. She's forfeited that title. I don't even think I should be calling her doctor. She's just some woman now. Can't wait for her to be in the very rear mirror of the rest of my life. If she doesn't fall asleep by 10, we can figure something else out. These windows are supposedly shatterproof, which she always said was for burglars. Now I'm assuming it was yet another way of keeping me boxed in. But we can try to break them anyway. Let's go with that one. I believe you owed me a showing of Si Non Chi, Death Blood. I believe I do, says Reese. Reese gets the movie set up and joins you on the bed. Let me know if it gets too much for you. I'm not a great judge of how people react to the sort of thing I watch, but I definitely don't want you to feel uncomfortable. This is a slow burn of a movie, but the dread is managing to build is palpable in the room, or maybe that's just how it feels down here all the time. What with the grisly paintings, lack of lighting, cinder block walls, and of course the fact the woman currently lurking upstairs has been poisoning her son since his teens. I've seen a couple of this director's other films, and they're all interesting, though this is probably the best introduction to his work, says Reese. The way its jump cuts to seemingly unrelated TV show recordings, but then wind up tying back to the narrative adds a level of realism and depth to the narrative that I find really engrossing. It's found footage used to its fullest. I can't believe I'll be able to just do things from here on out, like watch movies with another person, or talk to people either. You can hear the difference in energy now that Reese hasn't had his daily dose of poison. He's uncharacteristically chatty, clearly not used to talking to another person, let alone when he has energy to carry on a long conversation. Let's be realistic. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. First we have to get out of this basement, you say. That's true. I shouldn't be counting my chickens. We still have to get past the woman upstairs. He tenses, his back straightening, his muscles clenching as he's reminded of the obstacle. Hopefully we can just wait her out. If not, he trails off. But his features soften as he once again immerses himself in the film. A man on screen yells potence of doom into the camera, trailing off into the wordless scream. The plot is really heating up. I love that there are all these distinct sorts of I love that there are all these distinct sorts of vignities, little pockets of horror that affect small numbers of people, and that only once you start to see how they fit together can you realise some fundamental horror about the universe. And then that horror sees you back. Incredible. Cosmic horror in its truest sense. Reese is becoming very animated. It's probably safe to assume that he's been dealing with a lot of extra adrenaline right now, what with his entire reality being turning out to be a lie. But he's also talking over the movie. Reese, are you feeling okay? You say. I'm just a little jittery. I had a really weird day, and I think being down here is making me anxious. I'm all hopped up on adrenaline. Maybe waiting out the dock is a bad idea. The longer we wait, the more likely it is that she'll figure out that we're onto her, and it would be too easy for her to lock me up again, and be thorough about it this time. There's a knock on the window. Jason. It's Wayne. Don't get any closer to that thing. It's time to go home. That voice. I know that voice, says Reese. Is that who's been following you around? Without another word, Wayne starts pounding on the supposedly shatterproof window. Enemies upstairs, enemies outside. We're surrounded. Even if I get out of this house, I won't be safe. You won't be safe. So, what do you mean Wayne isn't going to hurt you? He won't hurt anyone. Why did he call you a thing? Let's go. I don't need you to protect me. Let's go there. I don't need you to protect me, you say. That's only because you don't know what kind of danger you're in. I know what it's like to have my life stolen by someone else. It destroys you in every way, but I'm not weak anymore. No more cowering. If someone tries to hurt me, I should hurt them back. And I can do the same for you, Jason. We're in this together. The window shatters. Oh boy. As Reese tears at his clothes, paint bubbles out from the canvases. His ghoulish features peeling themselves out of their two-dimensional worlds, invading yours, crawling up the walls. Grab my hand, says Wayne. I'll pull you out. Leave us alone, says Reese, his voice distant and distorted. In a surge of violence, the change that has been brewing inside Reese finally comes as it manifests. The broken basement window is sealed off and Wayne alone with it. Oh boy, yeah, He's changing. Run for the stairs. You've seen enough to know that you need to leave. You run up the stairs. The door is blocked by a chair, and then it's blocked by something else too. Powerful build. You toss the chair out of the way and tear through the paintings covering the door. They stretch and rip yellow and red globules of paint, coating your hands in place of viscera. Finally, the wood slips. The wood slippery in your painted grip. You fling the door open. Freedom! You rush to the front door. But the things from the painting, his smears, are faster. They flow up from every crack in the wood, flattening themselves against the door frame. You pull, but it's sealed shut, as if they've learned from their first attempt. And then you hear the thunder of massive footsteps coming up from the basement stair. You turn to witness Reese. I can't let anyone leave right now, he says. She might find a way out, but it's okay. I'll make it so she won't be able to hurt anyone anymore. Go back downstairs. You'll be safe there. You size Reese up. You'll need some heavier firepower than your fist to deal with him. So yeah, let's go with Reese, you're not thinking clearly. Let's go with that one. Reese, you're not thinking clearly, you try and reason with him. No, for the first time I feel completely in control of my actions. I know exactly what I'm doing. Reese turns and disappears deeper into the clinic. Nope. Try and warn Dr. Kelly. We don't have time to call Tabitha for help. We're going to try and warn Dr. Kelly. You make your way to the door that beckoned you yesterday. All intrigue now washed away. You know where it leads, and you know what secrets the stone that lurked in the forgotten basement of the clinic had to share with you. Now the clinic holds new horror. Somewhere beyond the narrow hallway leading from the house proper into the doctor's office, there is a monster preparing to do something unthinkable. You grasp the handle and turn it. Dr. Kelly, duck, she snarls. You're quick to follow her command, your body falling forward and rolling gracefully out of harm's way. She shoots. The gun isn't very loud, there's only a pop as the projectile leaves the barrel whizzing through the air. You turn to see a dart embedded in Reese's chest. He pulls the tranquilizer dart out of his chest, heaving heavy breaths as the drug courses through his system. You're going to have to try harder than that, you No. How did you... A look of fear flashes across Reese's face. As if you could hope to stop me, your pathetic waste of flesh, says Wayne as he comes down the stairs. Before Wayne takes another step down the stairs, paint flows out between cracks in the wood. Reese's panic pulling into a mob of furious smears to hold his enemies in place. The artist darts away, but the smear continue their work in his absence. Dr. Kelly makes her escape down the hallway and Wayne is overcome, glued in place at the top of the stairs by stifling globs of paint. Yeah, go for the axe. You need to arm yourself, you decide. You rush down to the morgue, practically flying down the steps. The axe is still lying on the floor where you and Reese left it. You pick it up. A feeling of safety settles in your chest as you grip the wooden handle. At least if you have to fight, you are prepared. Hey, Dr. Kelly's voice. Dr. Kelly's voice crackles out of an unseen speaker. You, Jason. I'm stuck in the safe room. Don't help. I can't help you from here, but you can help the both of us. Let's go with that one. What the hell is your son, Mom? You demand. I wish I knew. He was fine until he hit puberty. Everyone said raising a teen was going to be a bitch, but they didn't know the half of it. I need you to get to the medical storage room. I'll give you further instructions when you get there. You follow her instructions. Axe in hand, you rush up the stairs from the morgue and into the medical storage room. I'm here, you say. Great, now listen to me. I need you to use the black taped key to get into the cabinet and bring me the elephant tranquilizers. It's a bottle labelled carfentanil. Bear tranquilizers clearly aren't going to cut it anymore. Reese appears in the doorway, even more disfigured than before. An intercom system, Doc? Good. You should hear this. Jason, you don't have to do anything she says. I'm not going to hurt anybody else, just her. If I don't, you and I both know she's going to shoot me full of elephant tranquilizers. Did I hear that right? And shove me back down in that basement, or maybe someplace even worse, and keep killing me every day for the rest of my miserable existence. I feel amazing right now, better than I've ever felt in my life. I'm not dangerous, she's just scared because she knows she has to finally pay for what she's taken from me. I'm not going to let you kill someone, Reese, you say. Why not? She wasn't afraid I might die. Does she know those tranquilizers aren't going to kill me? Does she care? Trust me, Reese, I've always been careful with your medication. I want you to live. I love you, says the voice from the speakers. Tell yourself whatever lies you have to, Mum, he snarls. If you wanted a good relationship, you had your chance, and you decided to convince me I was dying instead of just letting me exist. Don't try to spin it like some kind of crime of passion now that the consequences are staring you in the face. He stutters as Wayne puts his hand on his shoulder. Enough, says Wayne. Reese cries out in pain. What the hell did you do to my shoulder? He snarls. You see, for the briefest of instances, something coming out of Wayne's sleeve. Just a flash of pale yellow, then it's gone, slithering back into Wayne's clothing. As Reese claws at Wayne's chest. I'll handle it, try to get somewhere safe until then. The two stagger off down the hallway. Quick, grab the tranquilizers and head to the safe room. You do as he says. The tranquilizers are easy to find, marked with small square black tape to match the keys. She's certainly an organised woman. Let's try that one. You grab onto the axe tightly, the wooden hands are rough against your calloused palms. You do your best to hack through the animated smears of Reese's paintings and follow the dueling figures, but it isn't long before your arms feel like lead weights and your lungs are starved for breathing. You're just not up to the task. Winded, you make your way to the door of the safe room. So I wonder if we weren't cursed, if we could have actually got involved in that fight. As you approach, Dr. Kelly heaves open the door, slowly breaking apart the mass of paint sealing it shut. Hurry, I don't think I can keep it open for very long. You slip past her into the safe room. She shuts the door quickly, though one of the little smears manages to slip past her. She stomps on it, paint viscera splattering across the cement floor. Yes, it really does. It sounds like Reese and your friend are still fighting, says Dr. Kelly. We probably have a few minutes before he gets here. What is this room, you say? Old X-ray room, lead walls. After I realised this whole situation was a possibility, I had the door reinforced with special remote control locks. Glad it finally came in handy. Let's go with that one. You didn't walk me to the door after my exam earlier. You must have known I might have gone looking for something. Why didn't you make me leave? You inquire. She sighs. There's something about keeping a secret for so long, she admits. It makes you paranoid. It makes you do things you know are objectively wrong just to maintain the illusion of life. It isolates you, she admits. At some point, you just don't want to be alone anymore, whether you realise it or not. So you can get sloppy. You leave things around you shouldn't, because that distinct, destructive little part of you wants to test the limits of how obvious you can be before someone is about to put two and two together. I'm not blind. I can see that things are happening in Scarlet Hollow, unusual things. I guess subconsciously I must have decided if there was ever a time to let someone else in, it would be now. Let's talk Reese. Yeah, I bet you have some questions. Go ahead, I have nothing left to hide. Let's go with this one. What is he, you demand? At first I thought he was some kind of werewolf, admits Dr. Kelly. But if he is, he doesn't follow any of the full moon rules or anything. Silver doesn't do shit to him, and you've seen what he looks like. It's just weird. I almost wish I could examine him while he was fully transformed. I'd be fascinated to know what happens to him, or how his body does it. But he seems pretty hell-bent on ripping my throat out, so I guess that'll just have to remain a mystery. Was his dad similar? A strange little smile creeps on Dr. Felly's face. I wish I knew, she admits. Reese just kind of happened. I wasn't seeing anyone. I just woke up pregnant one day. I know how impossible that sounds. I'm a doctor, for Christ's sake. I keep having these weird dreams, almost like sleep paralysis episodes. Romantic sleep paralysis episodes. They were actually kind of sweet, but they were like dreams. But then, all of a sudden, my period stopped. I got morning sickness, and roughly 9 nights later, Reese. When did you find out? A little after he hit puberty, she admits. He had all the usual changes, then a few extra: thicker nails, sharper teeth, elfish ears. I'd figured he might have some kind of genetic disorder. Had him checked out at a few specialists, but there was nothing obviously wrong with him. Then we had an argument and he changed right in front of me. It was nothing like what he is now, just a couple of inches and some facial abnormalities, enough to be noticeable. I was scared, he could see that, and he stopped. I thought it was a one-off, or maybe an hallucination. But the second time it wasn't subtle, and it didn't go away as easy. That's when I knew for sure that this was something beyond my realm of expertise. How did he not know what he was? You demand. I'd been medicating him since he was 12. We've only had 3 instances like this before, maybe 4, depending on what counts. This is the worst one by far. He doesn't seem to understand at first that he looks different. So he didn't seem to understand at first that he looked different, and I just make sure to stay on top of his dosage so he rarely ever does. But I've been preparing for this inevitability. He's an adult now. There's only so much I can do to control him. Yeah, the way he's phrasing it, that's worrying. The relationship between the two of you seems difficult. Yeah, you could say that, says Dr. Kelly. He was such a cute kid. When I found out I was pregnant, I was terrified. I didn't know if I'd be ready, but he made me love being a mum. It's not like it was going to be sunshine and roses forever, no matter what. Kids grow up, they change, sometimes for the worst. This is part of being a mum too, doing what you can to make sure the child you brought into the world isn't going to go around eating people. Why did you start poisoning him? Dr. Kelly sighs. Can we stop calling it poison? Yes, it's poison, but the act of me giving him poison was not me poisoning him, it was me medicating his illness. It started when he was around 15. I'd been giving him increasingly higher dose of Clonopin, but his body kept adapting and the symptoms would come back, especially if we ever fought. I couldn't keep ordering all those drugs. It was already suspicious, and I could risk losing my license, especially if anyone ever found out I was using them, what I was using them for. Someone approached me with a solution. I took it, and I've been dealing with the emotional and mental consequences of that decision ever since. Who approached you, and what did they say? Dr. Kelly gives you a long, hard look. I don't want to talk about that woman. But screw it, I might die tonight, so I'm telling you. And that's all I have to say about it. Did we just black out? We did, we just completely blanked out. Oh, yeah. Like, that is suspicious. The fact that it's a natural remedy that she was giving him, I bet you it's Sylvie. Jason was probably going to start suspecting it's Sylvie again. It's obvious that he's dangerous because he's turned into a monster and he's trying to kill people. That's the point to say. What's the game plan, both short and long term? Well, I pump him full of elephant tranquilizers, then I lock him in here, then I somehow convince him to see things from my perspective. Then we all live happily ever after. Let's go with sarcasm. I see no flaws with this plan. No. And if he manages to find a way out and kills you, let's go with that one. If he manages to find a way out and kills you, I'm not going to let that happen, says Dr. Kelly. While we're at it, any other secrets you're keeping? You have it all, says Dr. Kelly. You have no idea how relieved I am to finally say all this shit out loud. I sit in silence and wait for Reese. You and Dr. Kelly sit in silence and wait for her son to make his way to the safe room. The sound of distant breaking glass cuts through the silence of the clinic outside the safe room. Shit, this might be game time, says Dr. Kelly. Dr. Kelly opens the door. The two of you stare out into the hallway. As Reese comes around the corner in his full form. Is this where you were? Is this what you were so afraid of? He snarls. Hand over the tranquilizers. This is our shot. You hand Dr. Kelly the tranquilizer darts. Dr. Kelly quickly loads them into the gun, leveling the barrel at the sun. Thank God, says Dr. Kelly. Dr. Kelly sighs heavily, staring down at the warped figure of her son. I can drag him into the safe room on my own. I'll meet you at the front when I'm done. Leave her to it. You return to the entrance of the clinic. Everything is quiet now, only streaks of paint where Reese's minions had once roiled out of cracks in the wood. I hope you understand that this needs to stay between us. I don't care how much you feel like you need to share what's happened with other people. The more people know about this, the more trouble it is for me and for him. I don't need any more well-intentioned escape plans. Let's go with... You say... Okay, so I pressed it, but it obviously didn't pop up. Thanks for the heads up, I guess. Can I come visit him, you say? As long as you don't bring anyone else along, yes, that would probably be good for him. I can't promise he'll want to see you, or that he won't have some harsh words if he does, but I don't want him to be entirely isolated. So... Bonnie's going to say that. I'm sorry I came here. I feel like this is all my fault, you mutter. I tried to get you to stay away for a reason, but that's what done is done. He was bound to figure it out sooner or later, says Dr. Kelly. I'm just glad there was an extra pair of hands around. It could have gone a lot worse, she admits. As much as I'd love to stand around chatting, I have to get to work. Got to clean up this place as best I can before tomorrow. And you should probably get home. It's dark. I'm sure your cousin is worried about you. Yeah. Leave. You don't wait to be kicked out, heading out the door to the clinic and into the dark night beyond. The night is oddly warm compared to the chill of the day. Crickets sing quietly in the sleepy little neighbourhood. Everything that happened in the clinic feels almost like a dream, and now it's over, you realise how little it messes with your understanding of the world. Go home. It's time to go home. You don't get far before you're interrupted by the jingling of dog tags. Gretchen appears at the edge of the road, running as fast as her geriatric pug legs can carry her. She seems distressed. She whines as you stare up at you from the ground, her eyes desperately anxious, jumping backwards and forth and darting away when you try to lean down to her. Gretchen, where's Stella, you say? Gretchen whimpers, then starts trying to drag you towards the woods. You follow her. You follow Gretchen. She nervously runs ahead of you the whole time, constantly looking back to make sure you're still there as she leads you into the dark woods. Before long, the trees thin and you find yourself on a steep hill by a two-lane road, lined on either side by sheer rocks. And there, sitting on a log, staring mournfully out at the asphalt, is Stella. Gretchen runs up to her and sits in Stella's lap. Gretchen, you're back. Don't scare me like that again, she whispers. You sit on the log beside her. Jason, that ghost really did a number on you. I'm so sorry, she mutters, not looking at you. Let's try and joke about it. Yeah. Do I look that bad? I thought I was kind of distinguished, you chuckle. You look extremely distinguished. I'm just sorry you had to get hurt. She mutters. I really missed you today, you reply, quietly. I missed you too. I'm sorry I was gone. I just had to come here, she admits. This is where the accident happened. My parents died on this bend in the road. They were taking me to college. I was lying in the back seat, and it had just rained, and the sun was finally coming out. Oh boy. Took their heads clean off. At least it would have been quick. Dang. Sorry, I know it's probably a bummer to talk about. It was awful, really messed me up for a while. I think I'm still messed up. There's whole years of my life after the accident that I feel like they just never happened. Like every time I try and remember them, it's blank. I have all these videos sitting on my channel that I don't even remember making. It's scary. At least it hasn't been like that for a while, thank God, she whispers. And she begins to cry. I've never talked about this stuff before with anyone. You reach out to her, take her hand. It's warm against the cold night, and the skin of her knuckles are soft. She finally tears her gaze from the road. Her sad eyes meet yours, but the hint of a smile creeps up the corners of her mouth. Her dimples begin to crease. Her hand shifts, her callous palm fitting into yours, her grip tightening. It's strong and comforting. You can tell she feels held, and so do you. The two of you stare out at the road. I think the accident is probably why I got into ghost hunting, she admits quietly. I think I just wanted to see them again. I wanted to know wherever I wanted to know if wherever I even could. I never found anything, so I eventually gave up. Then last night happened, and I ran out here to see if maybe it could happen with them too. Even if it meant seeing the crash again or seeing them all messed up and dead. I just wanted to see them, she whispered. It's been a whole day. I don't think they're coming. Let's put, yeah. You carefully place your arm around her shoulder and pull her close to you. You feel her chestnut hair against your cheek. You smell a little sweaty. She smells a little sweaty and a little sweet, the faded scent of her shampoo mingling with the natural perfume of her skin. It's nice. You take in a deep breath, stroking her hair with your thumb, letting her lean into you. She rests her head against your shoulder, closing her eyes serenely. That hint of a smile spreads into her barely contained grin, but finally chases away the worry in her features. Just because they're not there, just because they weren't there, doesn't mean they don't love you, wherever they are. That's nice. That's a nice thought, he says. I've thought a lot about what might come after, whether they're somewhere else or if it's just stopped existing. I guess we've seen at least some evidence of the afterlife. I hope that means there's a good version too, where he's still on that long car ride, listening to Dad's tapes with a place in the backseat for me when I eventually catch up to them. And then it won't matter, but I never get to say goodbye, she whispers. That's a slight worrying edge. I think Jason would probably say this. I think he'd probably say they died with your future on their mind. It's time for you to start living it. No, this is going to be a hard one. You have a long life ahead of you before that. Let's go. No, I think could you always say goodbye now? I think it's going to be one of these two. Well, actually, I think it's one of these two. This one may. I don't know. It's a hard choice. Especially. And then it won't matter that I never got to say goodbye. No, actually, you could say that now. You could always say goodbye now, you say. Stella sits in silence for a long moment. Her breath slow and even. Goodbye. I love you. Don't worry about me. I'm going to be fine, she whispers. She's silent again, as if waiting for a response. But it never comes. But she smiles. A lively glimmer returns to her sad eyes. That kind of felt better, she chuckles. I don't think I realised how much I kind of trapped myself in my own head. Thank you for breaking me out of it. She straightens up, straightens her neck. Gretchen hops down from her lap, tags jiggling in the quiet night air. We should probably head back, right? I haven't slept in a day. Yeah, I don't think Jason is going to tell her about Reese tonight. I think she's got too much on her plate. You keep the events that transpired at the clinic to yourself, at least for now. I don't suppose I could ask you to walk me home. Yep, flirt option it is. I'd love nothing more, you say. You offer her your arm. She smiles, slipping hers into the crook of your elbow. She pulls you closer until the skin of your forearm brushes against her side. And this is me, says Stella. There's a short pause and she blushes. Do you want to come in? Dialogue options marked romance will start a romance arc with the character you're talking to, and we'll lock out romance arcs with other characters. Let's go with yes, please, you reply. Stella ushers you inside, a barely contained grin threatening to split into an excited smile. Let me just go and take a quick shower. I've been sitting outside for a day. I need some soap. It'll just take a minute, then we can get cozy. Let's go with that one. Oh man, I would kill for a shower, you mutter. Stella laughs. Yeah, I'm sure you've built up quite a lot of grime today. It's all yours when I'm done. She hurries off, leaving you and Gretchen in the living room. Gretchen immediately curls up in her bed, clearly exhausted after a long day of worrying over Stella. But before you have a chance to fall asleep, a heavy knock startles her, and you, Gretchen, growls. There's someone at the door. Who is it? You inquire. You know who it is, says Wayne. Open the door, please, Jason. The thing is, he can get in, he can break in even if we say no, so it's better to try and keep him placated. You summon the bravery to cross the room and open the door. Wayne cocks his head, the stained veil over his face fluttering in the slight breeze outside. The outside of his clothing are streaked with what you first think might be gore, but you quickly realise it's actually paint, and there are wide claw marks down his shirt. But he's still in one piece after his altercation with Reese. Stare him down in silence. Not happy to see me? I know I'm interrupting your little evening of fun, and I won't keep you, he intones. I just want to offer a suggestion for how to spend your time tomorrow. Tabitha will be busy out at the mines. Take advantage of that. Forbidden places won't be forbidden without her around to stop you. Explore the estate. You might find something interesting if you know where to look. He slowly steps back, shining eyes fixed on you as he disappears into the dark night behind Stella's door. Gretchen growls, escalates into barking. Calm down, Gretchen, says Stella. Were you just talking to someone, Jason? She says as she comes out from the shower. Wayne stopped by and tried to spook me, you say. He's still following you, she says, incredulously. Are you sure we're safe? Yeah, that's good. Lie. I could take him, you say, to reassure her. I'm sure you could. I feel a lot safer with someone like you next to me all night. If I get scared, I just open my eyes and see you right there, and nothing will feel like it can hurt me. Speaking of, I'm exhausted. Let's turn in. Guard the house for us, Gretchen. Bark if there's trouble. Gretchen snarls, yapping fiercely. That's right, Gretchen. You're the most vicious little geriatric pug there is. All right, but you said you wanted to shower. Sorry, head's a little fuzzy from staying up for the past day. There's a fresh towel in the bathroom, and I got you some extra bathrobes. I can put your clothes through the wash so they'll be extra clean and fresh in the morning. It somehow feels like the longest and shortest shower you've ever taken. Too tired to think, too tired to process the flow of time, Stella sits outside the bathroom door and makes quiet and comfortable small talk with you, and then you're done. You dry off, step into one of her extra robes. So, are you coming in? She says. You follow her. You walk by Stella into her bedroom. She gently closes the door behind you. Sorry, I didn't clean up beforehand. You can think of it as getting the authentic Stella experience. She slips past you and lies on the bed. Dressed in an oversized t-shirt, you're quick to follow. She's warm and still slightly damp from the shower. Her skin fresh and flowery. She turns to look at you, smiling dimples creasing at the edges of her mouth. You could kiss me if you wanted to, she says. Aren't you tired? You joke back. I am, but I figured I should at least suggest we make a move. You won't be in town forever, and I wanted something to remember you by. I don't have to leave when all this is done, you say. And you don't have to stay in Scarlet Hollow if you don't want to. We could do whatever we wanted. You're right, she says. The funeral doesn't have to be the end of anything. You shift closer to her and close your eyes. The magnetic pull of anticipation rolls down your spine and crosses your skin, and for a moment that seems to last forever, you take in every detail of the world around you. The forested scent of her eucalyptus shampoo, beneath it the slightest hint of campfire, the comforting heat of soft but callous hands against your cheek, the thunder of your heart beating ever more quickly in unison, the tension rising and rising, a tone seemingly without peak. And then it breaks. Her lips touch yours. They're fresh and minty and soft, cool against yours, and guided by a gentleness of someone looking to hold on to the memory of tonight for a long, long time. And then she pulls you closer, tighter, and the two of you lose yourselves in each other. Eventually the two of you break away and open your eyes, gazing at each other from the opposite sides of the pillow. You drift off together, limbs intertwined, exhausted and safe and comforted. Tomorrow may bring some new horror, or it might not, but whatever happens, you'll face it together. And that is the end of episode 4, lords and ladies. Thank you for watching with me and keeping going all this time with Jason's Adventures in Scarlet Hollow. I really can't recommend this game enough. It's going on sale. I would suggest you pick it up now, as the price unfortunately is going up. So they're doing a slight price increase basically to do with inflation and how things currently are in the world in general at the moment. This game is really, really worth it. And I can't wait to get the next episode. We're halfway through the game. We are actually now officially at the halfway point. Only 3 days left to go in the week, and it's only going to get worse from here. I do not discount that fact. In the meantime, the developers will be adding new content and new tweaks and updates to the game regularly. So please check it out. It's well worth it. And tune in for next time for the continuation of Jason's story. We'll probably have Scarlet Hollow, the Darkest Timeline, coming out soon as well. Probably given a little bit of time just to allow some more patches and sort of fixes to be put in place. So it'll be a little bit of time before that comes out, but it will be worth it. We can see how Kerry deals with all this situation, and it's probably going to end absolutely terribly, but who knows. I've been Cornish-knight. This has been Scarlet Hollow, episode 4, a Cornish Let's Play. Please like and subscribe, and have a lovely holiday. Goodbye.